Logical Love Meditations. We're in the book of Revelation. The recommended reading is in the Psalms. So I'll put that in the description below. And the Psalms is also something that we read an additional 3 chapters of Psalm recommended for the weekend. I'll put that in the description below, and I might come back and do a vlog on that, but I don't think so. I don't think I'll get to that. Welcome to Revelation chapter 5, verse 3. We've had 2 vlogs in a row, and we've not gotten beyond verse 3 in chapter 5. I just went back to see where am I at, because it's been a few days. Verse 3. So let's try to get beyond Revelation chapter 5, verse 3. How about that? So here we are, Revelation chapter 5, verse 4. And I just want to mention, before I start in verse 4, if you are beyond the Bible and somehow happen to be, scrolling through and come upon this vlog, or it's just intriguing to you, a different way of looking at it, just allow your heart to be open to the universal message that applies to all man. Doesn't matter what religion you're from. Doesn't matter where you were born, or what belief systems have propped you up to make your life seemingly meaningful. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, because the love that people are is just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal light. What I mean by that is sometimes we diminish the glory of our divine organic person into just a set of beliefs as to what life should be like and what it should fit, and we try to fit our spirituality into it. And we try to fit our paradigms into it, and our religion into it. Here's the interesting thing. The universe, we feel, now there's some people that argue against this, but we have a sense, generally, that the universe has no end to it. It's so huge. But think of it this way. The universe of your heart, where heaven is. Where's heaven? Well, it can't be observed over there or over there. It's in you. That heaven is indescribably huge in comparison to the natural universe. The natural universe is a type and a shadow of the reality of the innerverse. The universe is a shadow of the innerverse. That's why he said, my kingdom is not of this world. That means the glory of reality is so vast. It's more vast than the vastness of the universe, in which right now we can't even come to the end of that. We should make some room for truth in that. And in that universe, there is a paradise. But of that paradise, of that kingdom, there shall be no end. Okay. Let's read. I'll never get to verse 4. And I was weeping greatly, since no one was found worthy to open the scroll, nor to look at it. And one of the elders said to me, weep not. Look, the Lion who is of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, overcame to open the scroll and the 7 seals of it. Okay. That's quite an identification. So, it's quite a claim. He was in the spirit, and he got a spiritual understanding of how the universe views this whole thing. So the universe is vast. That's why sometimes I say, people don't necessarily need the Bible. And there's religious people and or even spiritual people that would say, what? Everybody has to have the Bible. They have to have the book of Revelation. They have to know this stuff. No. Because seed time and harvest. What was the mandate? Be fruitful and multiply. So multiply where? There has to be something to multiply into. There has to be something expansive by design to expand into. And so a lot of times we judge people, we judge a book by its cover, so to speak. Folks, There are a million paths out there, and I understand, because if anybody understands the identification of Yeshua, because that's one of the big mysteries. Who is Jesus? Who was Jesus? He was, he came out of the Word. I mean, he came out of the Word, yes. He was the Word made flesh. He was a human vessel, a microcosm of a macrocosm of the true design of mankind. He was the first true design of mankind, in the image and likeness of, top to bottom, in every way, shape, or form. In a human dimension. Now, the interesting thing is that it's really not the end game. The human dimension is not the end game. This is hard for us to understand. It's not the end game. So when he said, greater works shall ye do, in other words, the power of the resurrection, I must go away. This must go away. This human person must go away. This is important. I need to go away so the Spirit of truth might come. In other words, I need to facilitate mankind. I need to be a seed that dies into the soil of mankind to raise mankind up from the dead. Because mankind in Adam died. All died. Everyone died. It's all dead. Dead is dead. Dead is dead. Dead is completely dead. There's no life in dead. We've tried to bring life through religion. We've tried to bring life through spirituality. It's like a little bit like Frankenstein. He's alive. Pray, spirituality. Religion. No, there was a transfiguration. There was a revealing. Hey, remember the transfiguration, Owen? There's revealing. This is really the essence of. This is really what we're coming into. It's not just a human out there sparring with the religious, who in the end, in a natural order of way, in kind of a natural sense, in a natural way of seeing it, kind of won over him, it seems like, right? Oh, blasphemy. No, think of it. He's a human being. And he has within him the Word and that which brought all things into being. But that's the true design of us all. It's a mystery. It's a wondrous mystery. So this is an unveiling revelation. I was weeping greatly since no one was found worthy to open the scroll nor to look at it. And so no human can do this. The only thing that made him worthy, what he was dead and he came up from the grave. He was not the same person that came from the grave. They did not recognize him at the resurrection. Now I know there's that whole story with Thomas. And I'm still, to be honest, still trying to understand what happened with Thomas. I don't know all things. Probably if I looked at it, something would come to me. Because the Spirit of truth is in me as it is in you. All truth is in us. All of the eyes, the creatures, they have all the eyes. That's actually a reference in Ezekiel too, by the way. The creatures with all these eyes. That means there's all truth. There's this all truth. But that is a revelation of what we're coming into. We're coming into where we have access to all truth. The seven spirits of God, we're surrounded with eyes. Our whole body is full of eyes. Ezekiel had that vision. There's a vision here in the previous chapter. All eyes, all knowing, all truth, all reality, all redemption, all beauty, all glory, all love. We're coming into that. Many sons brought into glory. And it's beyond, we're not trying to go back to being good, humans that are like Jesus was. So many of us saying, oh, I want to be like Jesus. Do you? He paid a price. Do you? We're coming up, and resurrection life is the order of things now. We're moving into resurrection life. We're moving into be a species of being that's never existed before. With wings and a body of eyes. Not physically. These are metaphors of a spiritual condition. And he was the root of David. In other words, here's the guy that's going to open the seal. The guy that is the essence of all life in human form. And who died, so that humanity in him died, in a sense. Doesn't mean he doesn't necessarily, the being doesn't have, memory and access to the memory of that life. But the human being died. That mortality was swallowed up into immortality. And that is the journey of all of us. The Lion is the tribe of Judah. So the root of David, a king, King of kings, Lord of lords. And I saw in the middle of the throne and the 4 living creatures, and in the middle of the elders stood a lamb, as if it had been slaughtered, having 7 horns and 7 eyes. Wow! 7 horns is authority, perfection and authority. 7 eyes is perfection and understanding. Woo! That is who we are. That is what we are all becoming in him. When we see him as he is, we become as he is, which are the 7 Rukat, Spirit of God, sent to all the earth, all the earth, sent to all the earth, all sent to all the earth. Hello. And he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who is sitting upon the throne. And when he took the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell before the Lamb, each one having a harp and a golden bowls full of incenses, which are the prayers of the called out. And they sang a new song that only they could sing. Only Revelation can sing. Saying, worthy are you to take the scroll and open its seals, because you were slaughtered, you were redeemed to God in your blood, those out of every nation and language and people and ethnicity, and you've made them a kingdom to the Spirit, and they will reign upon the earth. We'll end there. That's verse 10. We've really made some progress. Oh my. Why are they reigning upon the earth? So they can pat themselves on the back and say, look at us. They're reigning upon the earth to take all of creation out of death. To renew everything being made new. A new heaven and a new earth. A glory that's never been experienced yet. At least in our experience, right? But is coming soon. It says these things must shortly come to pass. Well, so much here, indescribable. There's no way even to talk about it. So much glory and love. Well, bye.